we are not Horus, or at least perhaps I'm not actually sure why I'm saying this. But I wanted to take a few moments and say this is not my first tarot reading that I have ever filmed. And when I say tarot, I mean it can be with different cards. I started out using tarot decks for divination. Before that, a few years ago, I was introduced to pendulums by my friend and communicating with our spirit guides, our ancestors. Furthermore, our angels, for example. I then slightly took a small break from that and sort of continued on trusting my own intuition. I feel this video today is very, very significant. I don't know what else to tell you, and I don't know, I really hope that what I say, the energy that I speaks at you in a way that is needed right now. So I just wanted to tap in now. Let me get some incense quickly. I want to welcome in spirit guides, ancestors, any gods, primordial gods, ancient gods, recent gods, modern gods. And it's starting through the language of smoke. The dissipation of one's form. The fluidity of one's physical appearance. Never stagnant. Never just one form. Look at the pathway of this incense right now. It might not be so clear on the camera, which I'm realizing, but it is showing me so many beautiful swirlies. I have no other way to describe it but swirlies. And it's something that I've always been quite fascinated with. When I was younger, when my mom would buy incense, I would take some incense and I would take pictures of the way the smoke looks, how we interact with smoke, how the air interacts with smoke. So there's been, I feel, a few things going around with the idea of smoke. It is an idea that I also discussed yesterday in one of my personal readings, which is something that I also want to bring up because it is something that I need to say. I cannot stay quiet about it any longer. There is something strange when it comes to messages being relayed and put on, for example, YouTube, where you're finding this now, or put on a laptop, and then after a few years, or maybe not a few years, but some time passes, and when this time passes, some people tend to do something to prevent certain things to be relayed, to be confidently expressed, to basically, you see, I don't want to say that this is something that my mother used to tell me ever since I was a kid. Even though I wanted to believe in magic, even though my heart was so set on the magical world, on the idea of my life then, it wanting to be a straightway path, it just always being about physical things, you know, a lot of the times, even conversations, they were not emotionally rich. They were not, how can I say? I was going to say mentally rich. But when I say mentally rich, is that people like to swim in the shallow part, or in the part of the ocean that does not resolve revolve around like going really deep. It can also be a fear, and this fear is also ingrained because it's also, I like to look at these things, fears, things like this, as tests. They also came to me as this when I was younger. I have had guidance ever since I was a kid. It may not have always been the same guidance alone, but I have had guidance from, I want to say, a specific energy that lingers in my life, that I feel even on my shoulders. I think that I'm also saying these things because it's also an introduction to me. This is my first tarot video or reading that I will be actually posting. And today I just wanted to say, if there's anyone out there that came across this video, which I feel, and which is why I feel like guided to say this, is that you are probably someone who has been watching readings, or you were interested in readings and divination and understanding more of your psyche and your spiritual gifts, but also your psychic gifts, your tapping into deeper parts of your brain because you're trying to remember the truth of who you are. You're trying to remember your essence. I want to say your perfume. Your perfume is very important. Why is your perfume important? For those of you who do not know Dion Fortune, she was an incredible woman for even having the confidence in herself, in what she knew, in the research that she did, the research of the world that is accessible to us also. Dion Fortune, she was involved in magical warfare. Around 1940, she would send letters to other skilled, I was going to say practitioners, or people who, I want to say, yeah, they called it occultists, in order to meditate. So everybody collectively meditates on a certain idea so that everybody's physical reality can change together. The idea is that everybody was to follow these instructions to the exact point. And what I imagine is on the piece of paper, there would have been, for example, a time in which people would sit and meditate at the same time, follow the same visualizations in order to enter, if not the same, but similar trance, similar meditative state. Why? Because the mind is a lot stronger than we think it is. Why else do you think that we have people in power? Why else do you think we have broadcasting visions on TV? Because certain ideas, seeds need to be planted. We are our own soil. We are our own earth. I keep saying this. We are our own planet. It's like, I love to imagine, or yesterday I imagined that, for example, you're your own little person. Now, when it comes to psychic defense, you need to also have this auric field, this field of protection around you. Everyone. Even you who is finding this video and being like, what are you talking about? Because I also have a feeling that I'm going to have a few people that I know, that I grew up with, or that I've been to school with, also being interested in this. Being interested in something. I mean, I managed to get 12 subscribers. I don't know where that came from. It came from people who likely believe in me, and I want to say thank you so much. So much. I also wanted, I have a lot to say, actually, if you haven't noticed. And I tend to be a bit all over the place. My mind just... And whenever something comes up, I go pew, pew, and I add it, because there are so many things in our lives that are like this. What Dion Fortune created was from doing this, was from having an abundance of material to work on. And when I say material, the physical, the books that she read, the mental spaces. These were the ingredients that were needed for her, in order to also create a psychic defense system. And I want to just say it right now, for those people who do want to learn how to protect yourself when it comes to your auric field, and how to contribute to the Earth's betterment, to the Earth's overall light and love. I find that I wouldn't say a lot of people know this. I guess it's something that people find when they have the interest, or when they come across someone who also has experience in the matter. So I want to start with 2 today, and before we continue with the rest of the reading, because I do find it quite important for me to tell you this, because it's something that you need. You need to be able to protect yourself. I find that you need to be able to protect your mind, your energetic field, and your body. When I was younger, I did mention this. My mom, she has a different cultural perspective on magic, on witchcraft, on energies that can be sent to you, and energies that can be monitoring you, watching you. We often saw this in the form of cats, of frogs, of owls. Now, owls, I distinctly remember a specific day when me and my mother, we were walking outside. It was, the sun had already gone down, but the air was, or the sky was still a little light. And I couldn't help but feel such a weird energy, you know? Like, and it's so fascinating that I say this now, because I also find that whoever I'm talking to, you might also resonate with going through this journey of trying to understand yourself, realizing that you at some point even numbed your own psychic abilities because you didn't even know they were psychic abilities. You didn't even know that what you were feeling was because of your sensitivity to the environments, to the energetic fields around you. All that you felt was anxiety. All that you felt was panic, paranoia, weird gut feelings out of the blue. Fear. The fear that you might have felt, and I'm so sorry. Genuinely, I am so sorry that the way that we've been taught about ourselves, about our lives, about the way that we should be living, I'm only saying this because imagine if you were a child and people around you, there was knowledge about this. There was knowledge about this. Imagine if you were a child and all you kept being told is that magic can be bad. Magic is done for the bad. It's all over in the world. And I'm like, baby. So what the fuck are we supposed to be doing about that then? Supposed to leave it up to the fucking people who are in the higher ups and who have been benefiting off of everybody not being awake to this fact? Like, are you good? Are you good? And you know what? I might have a lot of people tell me, are you good, Angie? Are you good for thinking this? You might be a bit, and I'm like, yeah, I did have to go through a fucking spiral. I did. I had to go through this spiral to enter my mind. What I'm trying to say is people made me feel like magic wasn't real. And if it was, that's the thing, bro. In the US and these big TV broadcasting places, TVs, I don't know. When it comes to producing media and stuff for people, for entertainment, for learning purposes as well, it just makes me feel as though, because imagine some of the magical movies that we see as kids is all really nice. It's all magical and cutesy and things like this, apart from, the evil characters who decide to try to demolish the main character for no fucking reason. Jealousy or resentment, or wow, they actually had the life that I wanted, so now I'm gonna fuck it up for them. And then what? The next day you can fuck it up for yourself because you fucked up somebody else's life? And then I'm also hearing, no, but it doesn't work like that because I can easily fuck somebody else's life up so that, and then my life is still gonna be okay. I'm like, girl, if you have that strong protection, that's amazing. Teach me. Teach the people then. Because what the fuck? Honestly, don't. Because you're just gonna teach them how to do bad shit. That's not the point. Media, TV, seeing magic on TV, and not seeing it in real life creates a barrier that sometimes can be surpassed with curiosity, with confidence, with belief, faith, with others around you believing in the same thing. When you look at group work and when you look at people who have the same way of approaching, when I say same way of approaching, I mean there is a collective understanding of who everyone is, what energy they hold together as a group, and also being able to be in a certain frequency that's like, yeah, we're a group, we're gonna do amazing, we're all interested in this, and if we're not, let's talk about it. Like, why is it that you do not maybe, like, I'm just trying to say that you can do so much when you're a collective rather than just one person speaking. Always. However, it does not mean that just because you can do more with more people, that your voice is not strong enough to be heard anyways. But how much you can do, how quickly, how effective, depends on this group, of course. But essentially, when you have more minds under the same idea, same instructions maybe, there's a way of utilizing your creativity, your own body's energy, your own auric field, your mind, and whatever is being channeled through you from source. Because everybody has a chakra system within their body. Everybody has a chakra system within their body. This is also known, or can also be seen as a Kabbalah, or the Kabbalah. Where, yeah, they have the, actually, like this, and then I think there are 10. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to cover my head because, damn. Nah. I really do apologize for this little break. I just... Look, I have some labradorite, some lapis lazuli, and some selenite. These will, I ask and thank you for being here, and would like to work with you in bringing more clarity to this message so that what I say can be brought to the right people. What I say is exactly what I need to say in this moment, without hesitation, without doubt, without interruptions, please. I asked to help me make this message clear. So I'm just gonna put them on my head. And I'm gonna put my little bandana on. Do I want to do that? I'm gonna do this. Listen, it ain't pretty. it ain't necessarily pretty, but freaking helmets in the war weren't either. Did the job. So, here we go again. I already immediately feel so much better. So, ooh, I feel so much better. Okay, listen to me, guys. Listen. Look at me. Did you see me a few moments ago and me now? You know, there were moments in my life where I thought, why do I feel all of this anxiety? Because I was like, it's anxiety. But now I also realize that they are just energies. And then people are probably gonna be like, yeah, duh. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't fucking know that. Nobody fucking told me that. I spent I don't know how many fucking years living with paranoia and anxiety because I didn't know what the fuck it was. All I knew is that I could feel things in the air and I just had a certain feeling about shit. What I find really interesting is that I've come across some people in history who were not as easily fucking how can I say this? For example, I can't remember her name now. But there was a woman who, yes, it was in the Battle of Troy. There was a woman who knew what was going to happen, who knew that the horse itself was a freaking trap. She apparently in some stories was yelling out in the streets telling people what is going to happen. Nobody believed her. They all died. Drunk. I just, sometimes I don't understand that. Because, and that's the thing. As much as collectively people can be so powerful, collectively they can also make really stupid ass mistakes. Really stupid ass mistakes. I would have thought that a lot more people amongst all of those soldiers, all of those fucking people around Troy, would also have a little bit of a gut feeling, would also have a little bit of an inkling and awareness to the environment. It's not about, I was gonna say it's not about having spiritual gifts. It's about listening to yourself. It's about listening to the quiet of the earth. Listening to also this, essentially, because everyone has intuition. Everyone has a first instinct. Now, when a collective group a collective group, several people with several guts, with several brains, connections to the earth. When someone else comes round, who is also known, by the way, to have these abilities and shit like that, and maybe not known or proven or no sé qué, you know, you would think at least at least one person would be like, oh, you know what? You know, maybe we should take a fucking moment to think about it, actually. You know, they might actually have a point. Hey. And then, you know, you don't. I apologize for even acting out like that. But ooh, I have an inner rage, if you haven't noticed. I do like to talk a lot. You know, I've spent a lot of time with my mouth fucking shut. So yes, when I do open my mouth, I will open my mouth. A lot of people are scared of that. A lot of people, they're so used to me being... And then all of a sudden, de repente, they try me and I say something like, eu não sabia que... Are you the same person? Did you take an opportunity to try and learn? Did you take an opportunity to try and question? In this collective, when I say that one person, at least one person, I would have bet that there would have been 5 at least, Pokapa, in a group of 20. 5 people at least would be like, yeah, you know what, maybe we should... What are you trying to say, lady? What are you trying to say? And then listen to the lady. The lady would say, there's something wrong with that fucking horse. Take that shit outside. And then the people will be like, all right, if this is what you think, like how, you know, what kind of feelings, let's go with you. Let's go to the fucking present. Knock on the door. If not knock, set the fucking thing on fire. See what's inside. Oh, a whole bunch of dead bodies. You were right. Yeah, I was right. And I saved Troy. Thank you. And it's not even her saving Troy. She was relayed a message that needed to be relayed to other people. That was also her duty. Other people did not let her do her duty properly because they also couldn't do their own. They couldn't do their own civil duty in listening to another human being in their community. There are certain people in our lives that we genuinely do not like. We sometimes lose respect for people or think we lose respect for people. We have certain emotions towards them, and that's the exact thing. Sometimes we do let our emotions get the better of us. Emotions that were from no sé qué long gone. I even feel this way. And I know that I'm channeling in this way that probably sounds like, I know everything. No sé, okay, I'm channeling, bruv. I'm channeling. And the way that I'm channeling might be even resonant to some people who will even find this. Listen to me when I tell you something. Do you see this? This is a sketch that I made during a tarot reading that I had around April. On my laptop. ¿Dónde está? The first half of the reading, ¿Dónde está? Some videos, even videos that were amazing, that really allowed me to showcase some parts of my skill that also helped me grow to be more comfortable when it comes to channeling songs, for example. Ancient songs, forgotten songs, or melodies, hymns. I pick them up like their energy signatures. I pick them up and they play, and I sort of sing what I hear. Why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because this is the apple of the earth. When we look at the Three of Swords in the tarot deck, like the actual, or the tarot deck made by, oh, I can't remember now her name. Here you go. The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords means that there have been certain thoughts. My computer's running low on storage space. Visit storage settings to... This is what I mean. My laptop is new. E já tá running out of space para Xian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was saying the Three of Swords is... The swords represent mental energy. It has to do with air. So when you think about a sword... Yeah, air. You see how they're dug into the heart right there, and there are 3 swords. Why 3? Why is it that... In our DNA, it is represented in 3 parts. And you're gonna be like, what do you mean? I mean, you see the helix structure that, the DNA strands create? In between each DNA, hold on a second. In between each DNA strand, after they, coil up or they create the double helix formation, in between them, you get give me a second. It's been a while. I'm trying to remember exactly what they're called, but I keep saying GATC. And they are a protein. Fuck. What are they called? Amino acids? But those, they are... I'm sorry. I don't remember. It's been like... Maybe it's not even relevant, but I just want to say it because... Well, you can look it up. You already know what... I mean, I hope so. I hope that you already know the structure of DNA. I just can't remember what those are called. I know what each one represents. A, T, C, G. Car in the garage. Apple in the tree. Car in the garage. Apple in the tree. Apple in the tree. Earth apple. Apple of earth. And why do I say this? Because our hearts, they also produce an electromagnetic field. Really big. Actually really big. I was gonna say if you meditate hard enough. If you meditate long enough and get more in tune into yourself and, into your visualization. Yeah. What does that have to do with this? Well, heart energy.